Hi there, it's me DRBC 007 for another episode of DRBC News. It's been a little while, but my god do we have a good story. EA may have just missed the mark, quite catastrophically if you're going to believe what analysts have said, because they are lagging behind Call of Duty pre-order sales by 85%. Not 8, not 5, not 50, not 80, but 85% behind. Do a search and you will see everybody's talking about it, as analysts predict that EA's Battlefield 5 will be a serious disappointment, and it says again that pre-orders lag Call of Duty by more than 85%. Cohen, who I believe is the digital source man who found it, or I don't know what you call it in the industry, the knowing guy, believes that EA's Battlefield 5 game may put the company's financial guidance at risk. The firm's analyst said pre-orders for Battlefield 5 are tracking more than 85% behind Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which is substantially worse than previous instances. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 titles lagged Call of Duty by about 20% to 40% for Battlefield 1, but it actually tracked ahead of Call of Duty at this point before launch. So Battlefield 1 did better, Battlefield 3 and 4 lagged but by 20%, and then absolutely key element, the huge franchise Battlefield 5, everything that everyone's been waiting for, is 85% behind Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which people say was boring and repetitive. I didn't, but people do. EA's most important non-sport game for this holiday season is struggling. It's just absolutely mad. A quick YouTube peruse and you'll see many videos, one in particular, the Angry Joe Show. He's taking a huge amount of flack because he did a video saying it's weak, and he said it could be because of women and the SJW element. Well, actually, he was really satirising the point, but he's had a huge amount of flack because of it, like a huge amount of flack that he had to come out with another video to clarify his points. If I'm honest, it's nothing less than EA deserve. They are greedy big old bastards, and I wish that DICE could break away, but I'm sure that EA have snapped up that franchise and they'll never be able to take Battlefield back. Now, the video that he released, now, Angry Joe, if you don't know him, you should go and check him out. His channel is absolutely fantastic, but he usually gets a great amount of votes, likes, shares, blah, 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 blah. This is one of the worst videos that he's ever brought out, and I don't get why. 26,000 likes to 39,000 dislikes, and it's all about Battlefield 5 pre-orders and what he thinks is the problem. I agree with literally every single thing that he has said. I don't think that's a difference. I don't think it's a problem, rather, that people have brought in women into Battlefield 5 for World War II theme. I know lots of people are very angry about it. They did fight. I think it's the way that they've done it, and forcing this agenda, which is inclusion and openness and blah, 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 into everybody's hearts. Now, I'm going to be doing a video very shortly on the Doom Eternal trailer and what the SJW and feminists of this world seem to have taken just a little bit too far. I don't get it, but you'll see that in the next video. But this whole SJW bull crap is what's actually ruining gaming and society as a whole. There's no problem with defending people and wanting to be a good person and not wanting to upset those around you. But when you take it so far and everybody wants to be offended by everything and everyone needs to be included because it's not fair, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I genuinely believe, yes I do, that Battlefield 5 is now suffering because of that, and also their, well, if you don't like this game, then go f*** yourself attitude. It's kind of a bit weird. Now, Patrick Sutherland, EA's, well, he's gone, he's run away with a £20 million bonus package, I may add. He was the chief creative officer. He told Gamasutra that the development team pushed for the inclusion of playable women in the game, adding that despite the common perception, there were a ton of women who fought in the war. A ton is probably pushing it slightly. There definitely were women that fought on the front lines and in the resistance, and they were incredibly important to the war effort, making weapons at home and ammunition and keeping, babies coming out and all that stuff, and they were there, but on the front lines, they just weren't. Anyway, he also emphasised that Battlefield 5 is not a history lesson. It's a video game that's going to be played by a diverse audience living in a diverse world. Yes, I don't understand that point. He goes on, we felt like in today's world, I have a 13-year-old daughter, that when the trailer came out and she saw all the flack, she asked me, Dad, why's this happening? Sutherland said she plays Fortnite, and I says, I can be a girl in Fortnite. Why are people so upset about this? She looked at me and she couldn't understand it. And I'm like, okay. As a parent, how the hell am I going to respond to this? And I just said, you know what? You're right. This is not okay. What the hell does that mean? What was that? What was that anecdote? What does that even mean? What, she plays Fortnite as a girl, so she's like, why couldn't I find a World War II, Daddy? Oh, God almighty. Anyway, it continues. These are people who were uneducated, apparently. They don't understand that this is a plausible scenario, apparently. And listen, this is a game, and today's gaming is gender diverse, like it hasn't been before. There are a lot of female people out there who want to play, and male players who want to play as a badass woman. Yes, in Lara Croft or in Overwatch. I love playing Overwatch. I love playing the female characters. But this is World War II front lines. It just, as I said, I don't mind. But this bullcrap excuse, this SJW approach to everything is actually creating more problems. It just is, it just makes me so mad. The article to which I'm speaking about was written on June the 12th, and these comments were made, and it's in PC Gamer. I think they've been covered elsewhere as well. But the writer, Andy Chalk, goes on to say it's a little disingenuous of EA to talk about authenticity and believability and taking a true journey through World War II while simultaneously giving us the wacky romp of a trailer, but doesn't really extend to the bellowing of the inclusion of diversible playable characters, and I very much respect his willingness to draw a line in the sand. No, I don't. Rubbish, he's gone. He's pissed off after he's pissed everything up. Anyway, he went on and said, we don't take any flack. We stand up for the cause, because I think those people who don't understand it, well, you have two choices. Either accept it or don't buy the game, Sutherland said. I'm fine with either or. Right, and how he's buggered off with $20 million. Absolutely ludicrous. The is gone. Excuse my French, but I'm happy. I don't know if this will put me in good stead with EA or whatever, but I don't care, because I'm talking about Battlefield, and I actually really liked the game. I played it and I loved it, and although I am slightly disappointed by the character choices that they've decided to include, i.e. women and multicultural people that just necessarily weren't there, like they're saying it's not a history lesson, it's just, I don't know, what, a game? Yeah, but you're setting it in World War II. If you wanted to include everybody, you could have done it in a completely different setting. You could have done a modern shooter, or you could have done an alternate history World War II, like where Germany won the war and you're in America fighting the last frontier. I don't know. And everybody had to pull their weight. Or maybe Germany's fighting against the Russians. I don't know. But in this instance, people didn't like it. And of course, that caused a huge furore. And now people aren't pre-ordering the game. Patrick Sutherland's gone, and you wonder why. Maybe it's because they basically said if you don't like it, well, I think a lot of people have gone, okay then. And it's a shame, because the game is actually very, very good, but 85% behind. Black Ops 4 is pretty shocking. I also think they made a massive mistake by including it in a window which just doesn't kind of work. You're fighting against Call of Duty and all of their fans. Red Dead Redemption, they call it Broketober, is it? Broketober? Something like that. I've heard it coined. No wonder. There are so many games coming out and so many things that are coming out just in the run up to Christmas that you're putting out a franchise that you've pissed off a lot of your audience, and then you're whacking it between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Black Ops 4. People don't have enough money to splash £100 or $100 on these games, these pre-orders. I think you've made a mistake, EA. I'm kind of happy to see it, to be honest, because you are just greedy. Anyway, this is just my opinion. I'm just a friendly neighbourhood DRBC. Tell me what you think in the comments below. This is more of a ramble than a rant, or rather a rant and a ramble. A ranting ramble, but with information that I think is important. The SJW thing is just going to continue going and going and going, and I will be covering more things about this because it actually is starting to pee me off. I know loads of women gamers that didn't want includable characters. You know, if I went down the street and I wanted to audition for Miss Saigon, I wouldn't be allowed to. I wouldn't be allowed to because they have to have an Asian cast. And actually, this happened once a long time ago. Someone I know, they couldn't get into it because they needed Asian people for the part of the Asian role, so they could only play the soldiers. That was fine. They wouldn't. But when we do other musicals, this is a very random example, but other musicals, let's say Sweeney Todd, you can have Chinese, black, it doesn't matter. Any character can be played by any person because you have to be inclusive, and it's not fair to say no, but then you go the other way and you can't. Like Jamie Oliver, this is very random, but I'm going to quickly throw this in. Jamie Oliver's brought out a jerk rice dish. Okay, Jamie Oliver, you know, the really nice chef, the good guy fighting a good cause, really nice, at least he seems so, wholesome food, great cook, world-renowned, is now being lambasted by people because they're saying that jerk is a Jamaican dish and it's only for meats and that he is culturally appropriating it. SJWs, is this all you care about? You're ruining the world! Okay, well, that's the way I'm going to go. I love you very much. Leave a like on the video, share it please, because I think this message needs to get out there, and tell me what you think. If you disagree completely, tell me. I like open discussion. I don't want to stop anybody from saying what they think. I don't know what this video is going to do. Anyway, DRBC 007 signing off for another episode of DRBC News. Catch you next time. You stay saucy, world. Yes.